All right, guys, so this is the fitness tracker. Pretty straightforward. It's almost the same thing as the habit tracker, just geared towards fitness and tracking your workouts. Um, if you have not watched the habit tracker video, highly recommend you watch the tutorial because it's pretty much explains how all this days, week, months, and quarters works. So I'm not going to go too much into depth here on this. So watch that video if you haven't already. But as you can see, it's the same layout. You have basically the days, you have all 52 weeks, and then you have the months of the year as well as the quarters, okay? And you can still see you have the add new days button, and then if you click the toggle button, you click add new weeks, months, and quarters as well. And then down below this database, just like the habit tracker, we have days, weeks, months, and quarters, and then exercises, logs, and workouts. So exercises, I'll just show you really quick. This is where you're gonna actually input all your exercises. So before you do anything, this is probably the first thing you wanna do. The very first thing you wanna do is go in here and make sure all your exercises are in this document. I'm gonna leave all these in here for you because this is all the stuff I do on a weekly basis pretty much. So just to keep it easy, you might already do 50% of this and just add in whatever you still need. So I'll let this be. If you want, you can add, for example, like like tags, like what's the primary, what's the secondary muscle groups that it works out, is it a compound or isolation, and then is it upper body or lower body. That's just for your viewing, but these really aren't relevant to anything. So if you want to leave them blank, that's totally fine. But we're gonna go back here and just want to explain this section here. So this is actually the workout section. This is where all your workouts are going to live. So what excuse me, once your exercises are all logged, or not logged, but all inputted into that database there, you want to go here and set up your workouts. So I've already gone ahead and gave you guys 5 workouts that I do, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So I have like upper strength day, lower strength day, arms, and then upper and lower hypertrophy day. And then in here are all the exercises. I gave you guys 2 different layouts. This is the list view, it just looks cleaner. This is the table view, okay? If you're gonna be editing, I'd probably stick to the table view. It's a little bit easier to change. But basically, you can just change the name here, change whatever you want. I'd probably even leave these in, to be honest, and just like duplicate. So I would just create like a new page, call it, I don't know, my custom workout as an example. And then here is where you would enter in all your exercises. So whatever you're doing, you just add them in like this. Let's say it's just those 5. And then here is where you would decide, hey, is this upper strength? Give it like a tag so that has like a color. If you don't see anything you like there, you can click just edit and then just click the plus button, and then you can create your own and change the color for it as well. And that's essentially the workout. So I'll leave my custom workout for now. And then if we go back to the main screen, as you can see, it's going to show, it shows in this section because they both have the same tag. But if I went and change that to something different, let's just go give it, let's call it custom. Where is it? Oops, that's not the one. So we'll call this custom. I click enter, and then here is where I just click those dots. You can change the color. So I guess everything's kind of already taken, so it's going to give you something new. But let's go blue, for example. Call that custom blue, and if we go back to the list view, you're going to see that. See, it's blue there, but I don't think I changed it. Yeah, I didn't change it. So let's go back. Let's change that to custom, and now you're going to see it's its own category. So that's kind of how you use the workout section. Pretty straightforward. And then here's your logs, okay? So every time you do an exercise, I have some examples here. I'm going to delete these before I show you a live example of inputting all this in. But as you can see, like here's the dips, pull-ups, push-ups. Here's just some example exercises I've already logged. And this is going to tally up. So every time you do dips, you're going to see what days you did it on. You're going to see what workout it was from. And then you're going to see all the reps and weights that you did as well. Right now there's 0, so I didn't punch anything in. But that's kind of what this looks like. And I will show you live in a moment, but let's just delete that. And then same thing for workout logs. So every time you do a workout, let's say you do upper body day, for example, or push day or pull day, it's going to log it and say, look, you did this particular workout on this day. It was X amount of time. And just to give you more of like a visual as to how often you're doing this and that. But let's just delete this as well. Okay, so let's hop in and let's start with an example. So I'm gonna click Monday, and same thing, date. Let's just start the first week of January, just to keep things consistent with the habit tracker. start time. Let's go back. And what you're going to do here on the start time and end time, you're actually going to go toggle the include time, and then you can set the time as to when you start. So let's say it was a 5 a.m. And then for my end time, pick the same dates. We're going to go to include time. And let's say I finished at 7:20. Perfect. So there it is. And you can see here the total time has automatically updated. It was a 2 hour and 20-minute workout. And then just like the habit tracker, I'm going to go week 1, months, January, quarters, Q1. Okay. And then this is the type that I assigned it to. Workouts, you're going to select all the different workouts here. In this case, it would be upper A. That's what I usually do on Mondays. So I'm going to select upper A. And then the workout logs. So again, these are already pre-filled. You can add more, you can delete these, whatever it might be, but I'll just show you how this works. It's just like the habit tracker. So I'm going to look for my workout, which is upper A. I'm going to click the plus button, and it's going to add in all of these exercises, okay? So here is where I would actually enter in the reps. If you hover over these numbers, it'll show you what the label is. So like this is my first rep and first weight. Second rep, second weight, third rep, third weight, fourth, and fourth. You can add more if you want in the tables, but I just gave you 4 as an example. So let's say overhead press, I did 6 reps for 135, and then my second was also 6 for 135, and let's say I finished off 6 at 145, and then I didn't do a 4th rep or set. You can just delete that to keep it clean, and boom, you can check that off, okay? So you want to do this for all of them, okay? For whatever ones you do, check it off as done, and then make sure you log your weights and reps. Very important. Now, just like the habit tracker, if you want to modify this, you can simply just click the setting, the gear button. Here's the name. You can call this whatever. So you can call this custom if you want, whichever one. And then this is where you want to modify. You only do this once, by the way, okay? And I'll show you what I mean. But all you have to do is once, and you're going to make sure everything lines up with what you personally do with your workouts. So let's call this instead, you know what, let's say everything on this page you do in that specific workout, but Smith machine, you don't do the Smith machine, you do bench press instead on this day. No problem. You're going to type in bench press, and then you're going to go search for bench press. And this is why you have to do the exercise part first, because if you don't, you're not going to find it. But we already have it in here, so I'm going to click add. I'm going to delete the Smith machine, and that's it. Perfect. So this is all set. Make sure all the other exercises are good to go as well. If you don't do something, like I said, you can just delete it. That's fine. And then at the very, very bottom, you'll also have to do one last thing. So again, if you're doing upper A, just call it upper A down here as well, and this will add it to the logs. If it's custom C, you want to call it custom C, and that's going to log it, okay? So, but that's just want to show you how that works. So let's go back, call this upper A. Click done. And like I said, guys, you just have to do this once. You can pick any of these blocks. It does not matter what block you choose. For example, if I pick Thursday and I go to the gear button on upper A, or it's custom now, I guess, the bench press is there. It used to be Smith machine, now it's bench press. So it's very easy. You don't have to do this manually one by one, and you're good to go. Okay, so I am just going to delete these really quick. Let's go to the, actually, you know what? Let me do a couple. So let me just go in here. Let's Smith machine. I did 8, 200, for example, 8. You can back out of there. If you click something by accident, just click outside of it. It'll take you back here. 8 and 200, and this one I did do 4 reps. So I'll add in the 4th one. So you're going to do that for all of them, okay? And as you can see, the progress bar is already updating. It's at 70%. And yeah, that's pretty much how this works. And then just like the habit tracker, you want every time you do a new week, you want to go to the weeks tab. It's already prefigured, this one. But you want to go months, make sure you hit that January, and quarters, make sure you hit the Q1. And then same thing for the months. You want to make sure you hit the quarters for it as well, just so that everything sinks in, okay? And that is pretty much good to go. And when I click complete, it's going to hide it just like it does with the habit tracker. So now if we go down, here is my first log. And you can see here, this is going to get pretty big pretty fast. And that's why I set it for today, this week, and all. Now, I know you don't see anything on today, and that's because the date that we selected was not from today. It was from back in January. But if you're doing this every day, you're going to see it show on the today screen as well as this week's screen. And if not, you'll see it here in the all section. But you can see here, here's some logs. I did 135, 135, 145, and for each exercise, okay. So again, this is how you can just easily keep track of progress. You can easily filter. So let's say I just want to see what I was doing for the Smith machine. You can just, you can just search, and then all of the individual logs for the Smith machine will show. So it makes it easy. You can see on like a workout by workout basis kind of how you're improving with each one. But I'm gonna remove this. That's the filter button, by the way. You can just click that to get it to show, and then here I will just click the 3 dots, delete, to bring it back to what it was, okay? And then same thing with the workout log. So you can see here on this day, on the Monday, December 30th, I did upper A, and it was for 2 hours, 20 minutes. So you'll be able to see over time how those stack up against one another. And once I hit complete, boom, it's gonna be gone from view, and pretty much just like the habit tracker, that's how it is. So once you get familiar with how this works, once you set up your exercises and you set up your workouts, play around with it a little bit, get used to kind of how to track things. And then once you are confident that you kind of, okay, things are looking good, what I would do then is just go back to the databases one by one, click into them, and just delete all the days. Go into the weeks, delete. Go into the months, delete, and then go into the quarters, same thing, delete, and then you want to go into the exercises, leave that alone. You should never have to delete anything from this screen. This is not what you want to do, so you can let that be. But the logs, same thing. You want to delete these, boom, and then go back into the workouts, and you can leave this as well, okay? But that is, here, yeah, workout logs, just delete there. And you can actually do it from this table here too, I just realized. So whether you want to do it from the database or these two, if it's easier, just make sure they're gone. And now you have a fresh, clean plate. So same thing like a habit tracker. Let's go add new days. Let's go add new weeks, add new months, add new quarters, okay? And now we are in business, and as you can see, it's all good to go. And look, see, even that custom saved. Custom, bench press, so everything kind of saves. You don't have to do it more than once, but that is essentially the fitness tracker, guys. So let me know if you have any questions, but yeah, should be pretty straightforward.